welcome to the What's On podcast. Here talking about the movie Joker for the first episode. My name is Zachary.
My name is Ryan.
And it's going to be talking about the movie, so it's going to be spoiler filled. So if you've not seen the film yet, then I'd probably say watch the film first and then listen to this. So it's been a bit of a while actually since I've seen it. It was, 4 weeks ago. So it's like, you're pretty similar, aren't you?
I think I'm the same, about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. I wanted to start with this one really because like it really got in my head, like just how good the film was, and some of the messages he was putting across, and just wanted to really go into depth with it.
I'd say definitely I'd agree with you, because thinking of the Joker, it's one of those films that I don't think I'll forget compared to other films that you watch where you're just like, oh, that was good, and then you don't ever touch it again. Yeah. Whereas this seems to have had more of an impact.
Definitely. And
that's definitely been shown, seen as though I saw this morning that it's nearly got to $1 billion.
Has it? Jesus.
Yeah, so it's gone past Wonder Woman, I think it said.
Oh, right. Good minute. It's weird though. I bet like in the top 10, like maybe top 20 films, it'd be interesting how many of those are like superhero based films. Because I bet
it'd be a few at the moment, maybe, especially with the last few years you've had all the Avengers.
Yeah.
That's really taken off.
All the Avengers will be there, won't they?
Oh, definitely. A lot of the Avengers will be. Like, especially Endgame.
Yeah.
So people absolutely love that. That went up. But
oh, yeah.
I don't
but that's fair, though, isn't it?
Oh,
because
yeah,
Endgame
definitely.
was like freaking... like DC, there's not much. Obviously, Wonder Woman was decent. Dark Knight, that's obviously... Well, any of the Christopher Nolan like series.
Well, maybe 10 years ago, but maybe now. You've obviously got Justice League, but...
Nah,
I've never watched it. So
no, I would give it a wide berth.
I prefer Marvel over DC.
I actually saw this morning because do you know Robert Pattinson's playing the next Batman?
Yeah,
the film. They're putting in. I don't know how he's going to do it because there's obviously like previous examples. You can say, oh, how can he be this person? He could do a good job of it, but Andy Serkis is being cast as Alfred and. Colin Farrell is being cast as Penguin. I think it could be alright. I don't think that's confirmed. I think that's what they said. Like he's been cast, and then obviously it could fall apart. But I thought that sounds alright.
Yeah.
Like I like Andy Serkis. He's done a lot of good stuff. But anyway, back to the main topic at least. Yeah, like it's full of like dark humor, and that's one of the things I really loved about it. Like there's some great moments, like again, spoilers if you've not seen it, when he's killed that guy, gave him the gun, and his dwarf mace like having to ask him to like unlock the door.
That was definitely funny. Yeah.
Oh,
he must have been terrified.
Oh, he friggin' losing the plot.
Oh, I know. Just seeing one of your mates die and suddenly you're trying to reach to get out.
But it was just something like Arthur. Can you get the lock? Oh, yeah, sure. Just like, guess.
Why didn't you say?
Oh, what was the other? Oh, and obviously when he dropped his gun in the hospital.
The children's hospital.
Oh. But it's funny, I watched an interview with the director, I can't remember his name. Can you...
I can't.
I watched... I'll search up in a minute, but I watched an interview with him, and he said one of the main things he wanted to do throughout the whole film was to like always be unsettling.
Yeah. Like
make the theme of the whole thing to be an unsettling film to watch, and like balancing that humour when he gets talked to the police for the first time, like on that bench, and he walks into the like glass door, like it's a humorous moment, but it's not like slapstick funny. It's just like
it's there in a tense moment. It just kind of breaks the ice just a little bit, but it's still obviously the tension is there.
Yeah.
But obviously with a thing called Joker, we want to put a few funny things in, don't we?
Yeah. What's he called? Okay, director's called Tod Phillips. That's it. Yes. I watched is it Wired? I think Wired's the YouTube channel. No, I don't know. Don't quote me up. Whatever platform I put this on, I'll put a link in. But he went through like the opening scene, you know, when he's flipping the sign and he's putting his makeup on, and like dissected it, and it was a really interesting watch. So I'll put that in whichever platform I put this on, because that's a really interesting listen to. But oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's even though it's based off a comic book character like the Joker, it's not really a comic book movie. It's more of a person's story. Yeah. The story of a guy who, through the system screwing him over, like just dragging him down and down and down throughout the whole movie. It's just like one layer to down to down to down to eventually losing.
Well, you can definitely tell it's not a comic book movie because it's more dark, like you said before. It's got humour in it, but not as much humour. It's not light-hearted.
Yeah.
When it comes to how comic book movies and cartoons used to be. I mean, if you look at the other Jokers, like Jack Nicholson's Joker, his was a light-hearted one in a way.
Yeah.
And then obviously you had all the animated series, like the one that was voiced by Mark Hamill. Yeah. So they were definitely light-hearted.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Mark Hamill one definitely was, because there was never any swearing, never any massive violence. It was all just funny.
And he's seen by a lot of people as like the best Joker, but then again, he's had the time to be the character for so long.
Maybe the best Joker in a cartoon way.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine Luke Skywalker like.
No. His voice is definitely a brilliant Joker. I mean, the different laughs that he does, it's ridiculous. And I've seen a few interviews where he's been doing live. He's done,
I've seen like the live voice acting. Yeah,
it's really strange because you don't think. It's the thing that I see all the time when I look at voice actors is that the voice does not match the person at all.
Definitely not.
And Mark Hamill's definitely one. I never knew that it was him.
Yeah. Oh no. Have you ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
As in the cartoon one?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
No, it was. But the final villain in that is a guy called Fire Lord Ozai, and like I watched the series like 10 years ago, and it was only when I looked up Mark Hamill. Sorry, I'm just laughing because my cat's like jumping up at the window. But he was voiced by Mark Hamill, and I was just like, how did I not realise this? Where was I going with this? What did you just say then?
About voice actors.
Voice actors, yes.
And the faces.
Oh yeah. So when doing voice, he really gets into it. Like he's like facial expressions, like distorting his face to do all this. So.
Well, that's what Mark Hamill did, because I saw it when he was in one of the Batman games.
Yeah, I think he's done a few.
Because he's done the Joker voices for those as well, and I saw like him doing the recording for it, and he proper, obviously because no one's ever going to see him actually do these actions, but to see him do it, it proper gets them into the mood. They've got to be able to act in a way so that it gets them into it.
Because it still is acting. Like it's, I spoke to a voice actor once, and he was saying like, it's not voice acting, it's acting, and then it's voice. Like,
well, that's it. I mean, it is acting. It's just you're never seen. Your face is never seen.
Yeah.
But I mean, live action for like it's kind of two different acting in a way, because you've got to be able to do it for a camera that's not there.
Yeah, so it's a bit more difficult. Cause, like, obviously, you can use your facial expressions to like convey something, but then when you've only got your voice, I know you can do incredible CG work now in games, but you still don't have access to using your own facial expressions to convey something. But yeah, it's just the story of like, if you didn't know anything about comic books, like you would see this as just a great telling of a guy who's just been like, it could be the story of a historical serial killer who like you could like society let him down and he came to see him, because although from the start they go he's lost the plot a bit and he has this condition which I should have wrote down where he laughs at wrong points when he's like trying to express a different emotion like crying or something, like it just switches to laughing in
the most strangest of situations.
Yes.
He's literally got a card.
That's
written out.
I'm not laughing at the situation. I have a condition.
Most people didn't get that though.
No,
they saw it and they still took offence.
Yeah. It's freaking YouTube algorithm. Like it just brings in random stuff every now and again. Like they've been like bringing in videos like when it came out of like people who actually have that condition. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. Like I found it really impressive. Like I can't lie, I did find his laugh a little annoying at the start, but as it was going on, it's like, and he like spot on nailed how it actually is from these stuff that I've seen of people who have the condition. And I did a bit of reading into it, and he said he like based it off watching videos of like psychopaths and serial killers and like how they laughed.
Okay. And
like changed his, and that's how he made his laugh.
That's a good bit of homework for him, isn't it?
Mm. Well, yeah, it was...
It's amazing thinking of some of the actors that, like, it's not just they read off a script and try and convey it in their own way. They literally do their homework to make sure they are the best at what they do. Because if I remember right, when Heath Ledger did his Joker, he locked himself in a hotel for a month.
I've heard that. I've not read like into it. But...
He locked himself in a hotel for a month, as far as I'm aware, and he kept a diary of all his like the deepest, darkest thoughts he had. And when he showed people afterwards, it scared them. And I think in this month that he also did his own Joker makeup.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All by himself, and he also did. That's where he perfected the laugh for his Joker.
That must have scared the neighbours, wasn't it? Just like
an entire month in a hotel.
It's like the honeymoon in the next suite, and you just hear a guy going off his rocker in the next room.
Would have left. Get out now.
But I watched an interview like when I was doing about like, the Dark Knight filming and Heath Ledger in it, and like the commitment he had to that role. Like he's one of the mobsters like during that like that kitchen diner scene when he comes in and they're having a mob meeting. He says when they like film the mob's expressions, like Heath Ledger could have just stood there in his like normal clothes and just read out his script and acted, but he every time he got like dressed up for it to like do it properly, which he said he never would do because he said that's way too much effort being in that makeup.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of the makeup, he also like put it under his fingernails and or like kept it on his fingernails as well to get authentic, so it showed like the people who look at the films so deeply that he puts on his own makeup in the film, which I thought was
good. Hidden
touch. But speaking about commitment to the role, is weight loss. Do you know much about that?
Not really, no, I don't. I could obviously tell from looking at Phoenix, like he definitely lost weight for it, and especially obviously when he was getting changed and stuff in the movies and stuff, you could definitely see it.
Yeah.
So you can tell he's one of those. He's a method actor and very good. But I don't know how much he lost for it or in how long.
What's the actual like definition of a method actor?
I'd say it's definitely someone that tries to portray the character in the most realistic way possible using their own body.
Yeah.
Because, like you're saying, with Phoenix, he lost a lot of weight for this role. And if you think, I think my most known method actor to me is Christian Bale. Because, obviously, for The Machinist, where he lost loads of weight. And then for Batman, obviously, he bulked up and got himself.
I can't remember what the time period is,
it
but it was
long.
It was
a few
mental.
months. But then after he did Batman, I'm sure I can't remember the
film.
Yeah,
it was like dropped up. I know there was a film.
I think when I saw it, it was like The Machinist, so drop to
Batman Begins.
Yeah, massive weight and obviously muscle.
Yeah.
And then he did another film where he was fat, and I can't remember the film now. That where he was fat, it was. But it was ridiculous, and then obviously he lost the weight again to do the next Batman.
Yeah.
And that's mad. But I think it had a really bad thing. Impact.
It must have done
on his body. I mean, he couldn't do it as much anymore.
Yeah.
But that's some commitment.
Definitely. We're just going to a bit in depth into his weight loss. The reason, he lost 52 pounds for the role, which is what just under 4 stone.
I think so, yeah.
Something like that. Sorry, Americans, kilograms, all that. I'll work out in a sec. But he lost that weight because he read into him and the director and people. They read into like drug abuse because obviously he's on 7 different pill types, and he said one side effect of being on various drugs is extreme weight loss or gain. And he said in an interview. He wanted to go down the extreme weight gain side, but it was just like it was never going to happen. It was always going to be the weight loss.
No.
But yeah, he just again, it's commitment to the role, isn't it? Like he's reading into what this drug addict, this character would be in, and he emulates that to show it with his own body, like how to he is this person. When I first watched the trailer of it, I wasn't that like, I was just like, meh,
not captivated.
No, like, because obviously the last Joker we had was technically Jared Leto, but meh.
Not my favourite.
No, not
to say. Definitely not my favourite one.
Yeah, I can probably leave it there. But the last proper Joker was Heath Ledger, who was this big dramatic character, like such like a pinnacle of the character, and then this trailer comes out where it's just like the makeup's different, the character's different, it's an old guy, like it sort of was like, is this even the Joker film? Like, I know it's called Joker, but is it about an actual, like, the Batman universe?
Well, if you're calling something Joker and then you've seen someone wearing clown makeup and you've been told it's about the DC universe, you've got to think, obviously, it's definitely the same Joker, but like we've said, it's not really an origin story, really. And you've got to think, with all these Joker films, they don't want to be seen as copying someone else's success.
Oh, this was definitely his own thing. Like, this was definitely nothing like anything that's been before. I mean,
you can't always copy someone's work because then it might not be as successful.
Yeah.
I mean, if he just copied what happened with Heath Ledger's Joker, people are going to say, you're not really being original, you're just copying and trying to get money off what Heath Ledger did. Yeah. So you've got to try and take it in your own way and do it as you can, which is really good. I mean, like, I'd say maybe the Joker with Phoenix and Heath Ledger's Joker were kind of like, of all the Jokers, the most linked.
What do you mean by that?
I mean by, like, maybe mentally and their mental states. I mean, because Heath Ledger's Joker was a little bit insane.
What gave you that impression?
Well,
hospital stuff, perhaps.
Hospital, always in Arkham and everything, mental asylum and all that.
Those small things.
Yeah, whereas if you look at Jack Nicholson's Joker, his was more of a crime boss.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So, I mean, what was Jack Nicholson's Joker favoured using a gun, and whereas Heath Ledger's favoured using a knife. Yeah. Because he said guns are too quick. You can't savour all the little emotions. That's a psychopath right there. Just a little bit. And then, obviously, you've got Jared Leto's Joker. That was, again, a bit more of a crime boss than anything. Not the best one. No. But, in my opinion, don't hurt me for that. Don't have a go.
I don't think anyone's favourite Joker is Jared Leto. But I think, like, the people who liked
Jared Leto.
People who liked him as the Joker were Jared Leto fans. Yeah. Like, they weren't fans. Like, I don't know. There might be some people out there who went, yeah, I really liked him as it, but I think most people were fans of the actor who defend him for it.
Or maybe the film as well.
Oh yeah, the film was a bit of a shambles as well.
I kind of liked it. I mean, it's not my favourite thing, but it's quite good.
I think it's a late night film where you've got like a drink or something that you'd enjoy.
Maybe.
It wasn't like cinematic or like.
No, Suicide Squad was, but I'd say Suicide Squad.
It was a fun
okay.
movie.
Yeah,
it was a fun movie. James Gunn's come back to do the sequel, hasn't
he? Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, to do the Harley Quinn sequel one?
No, he's doing Suicide Squad 2.
Oh right, I didn't really. Oh right, okay.
Yeah, he's.
Well, I guess we'll see how that one goes. Though, I mean.
Should be. He's good. He's a good director, and obviously his work on like Guardians of the Galaxy is decent. So, well, more than decent. So I think it's got cross fingers for it, and I think they're swapping a few actors around as well. Okay. Will Smith's not coming back, I don't think, which is sort of hit because I think he was one of the biggest drawers for it.
Yeah, definitely.
But where was I? The Batman, like, talking about the Batman universe overall, you talk about this not being like an origin story. It
kind of is.
It is an origin story of like how he like became the character, but like timelines don't really work because like
No.
Bruce is still like a kid, so
That's one of the things I didn't really like.
he grows up and he's fighting a 60-year-old Joker or something like that.
That's what I said, innit? I mean, it looks like he's about 30 years older than him, so technically Batman's beating up a pensioner.
Basically,
Really.
that seems.
I mean, because by the time obviously Bruce has made himself into Batman, he was must have been in his late 20s, 30s, whatever.
Yeah.
And so by that time, the Joker of
he's gonna be
this one must be about 60, maybe into his 70s, nearly into his 70s. I mean,
walking around with a stick,
walking around with a stick trying to do what you can, not happening.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of was a bit annoying. Or how in the film he actually met the Joker as well, and that was a weird scene. Oh yeah, because there's a guy at your gate talking to you, and suddenly just puts his arm through
and he puts his fingers in
stroking
your mouth,
your face. I'd move away.
I think I think every kid nowadays would be frigging pegging it.
Yeah, because
that
was a weird scene. But
it was. Yeah, it was.
I mean, maybe it was a way of the Joker, because he thought really that he was his half brother.
Yeah.
At the time. Spoiler.
Yeah, we said spoilers as well.
Yeah.
But that brings on an interesting point of how much of a mental case the mother was, and how it's screwing up his life basically.
From a very, very early age.
Well, his whole life, isn't it? From childhood, doing this beating, strapping him to a radiator.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty much when he read that in Arkham Asylum. That was like the straw that finally broke it. After that, he went on his spree, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, to finally find out that his mum is not actually his mum.
Mm.
He's adopted, and then to find out that she beat him along with, was it a boyfriend?
Yeah.
At the time, yeah. So, which obviously caused all of his mental illnesses.
Yeah. Well, it's implied greatly into that the head injuries, and then with his laughing.
But with his mum also being as mentally deranged, thinking that she had an affair with
Thomas Wayne.
Yeah. And continuously writing and trying to get him to help her out.
Yeah.
And his son.
Quotation mark, we're waving fingers here.
His son.
Yeah.
Which obviously was never true, but she thought it was because she used to work for him. But that's just twist upon twist, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. Hey, speaking of twist, if you've come this far, then you've got no defense really. But one of the best twists I enjoyed in the movie was when he sat in the woman's apartment and she comes out and she goes, "Are you the guy from up the hall?" And it's the transition sequence after it where it just shows each time he was alone throughout
Your name is Alex,
the dates. Yeah. That was really good.
Because obviously it's shown in the film throughout it that she'd been with him.
Yeah.
Then suddenly, nope.
I mean, it always felt weird until
Yeah.
I think it was the first hallucination it must have been when he came to a room and he's dressed in makeup, he's got blood on him or something like that.
Yeah.
And she just lets him into the apartment. You're just thinking that's a bit iffy.
Well, I thought it was a bit weird from the start. Obviously, he followed her.
Were you following
me?
Oh, that's so romantic.
No, that's a stalker. Leave her alone. Don't go near him again. And then to suddenly find out, obviously, when he sat in her apartment, no, that was all another mental illness hallucination. Yeah.
And that was the second straw that kept broke the camel's back. Because he went there immediately after the asylum, didn't he?
Yes. So basically that shows obviously he had no one to turn to. He thought he did. Now he doesn't.
Yeah. What were you you were telling me about one of the what's the word when they do something off script?
Oh, when they improvise.
Yeah. You were telling me a bit in quite a big scene in the film that everyone remembers. But
so, from what I read, obviously, I can't pronounce his name fully.
Joaquin. Joaquin.
Yeah. Phoenix. He improvised a lot of the scenes in the movie, and obviously a lot of people know that the dance was improvised. But one I saw, which was quite interesting, was after all these things that broke him, and he realised he had no one else to turn to, he was stood in his kitchen and he just suddenly started to empty his fridge, sat in his fridge, and then just closed it. That was improvised completely. The crew didn't know what he was doing, and he just did it. And in a way, it's a brilliant improvisation, brilliant piece of acting, but it also kind of brings in the thing of he's all alone, and he hates the world is against him.
Just encloses him.
And he wants to escape the world, so his reaction to trying to escape is to lock himself in a fridge. That's heavy. That is heavy stuff.
And he's just following his own character, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like,
that's brilliant piece of acting.
I honestly think at least a nomination for him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the film overall, if there's nothing, and I think the film's good enough to have a nomination, irrespective of anything else that comes out. I think both.
So you reckon he'll get an Oscar for Best Actor?
I think he'll be nominated. I've not seen much else this year, but nothing I've heard or seen this year.
That's as good.
That can come close.
I mean, yeah, I'd have to agree with you with that. Definitely.
Just what he's done for the role, the role is, like.
I mean, also, I guess, moving on from the film, obviously, with all these heavy stuff, it kind of shows today's society as well.
Yeah. What I wanted to talk about was, like, the media, like, view of it. Like, what I didn't like was the media's main view of it was the violence, which it always is. It's always, is a video game going to cause this? Is this film that's about this serial killer is going to... But it's not the right thing to focus on. The film is about a society breaking down, screwing over, like, not being there for this mentally ill person, and at each point he's just, like, devolving.
He's hitting another wall. Society's just not helping him at all. I mean, and that definitely shows today's society. A lot of people today are feeling left out and hurt. And
constant budget cuts, funding not a particular thing.
We've got to that stage of the show.
Politics,
don't we love it? I mean, it definitely, obviously, it's trying. The film was trying to portray society today, I'd say, as well. And like you said, the media version of the violence and everything, I never, like, it's not that bad.
No, well, it's the fact it's not going to inspire someone to go, I empathise with him a bit, so I'm going to go off and friggin' shoot Jimmy Fallon or whatever it's called.
No, I'd say they've taken it over the top. Yeah, as they do most of the times with this.
I think it's because people who read that stuff are mainly like older readers, and that, like, it's just like, the younger generation are gonna like.
Well, it's like the people in America. Obviously, they're thinking that it's going to start mass shootings and people walking out of the cinemas. It's like, it's a bit of an overreaction, really. In my opinion. Definitely. Massive overreaction.
I mean, there was one cinema that I understood a bit, and it was because a previous film that they showed had a shooting at it, and it's like correlation and causation, isn't it? It's just like, because it's the film, some random guy who's probably mentally ill, I've not read into it, has took the advantage and done it at this film, but that doesn't mean that every film, like... But
was this the one for The Dark Knight Rises?
Yes, it was actually,
a few years ago,
Yeah, so they didn't show it there, which I can understand. Like, I'm sure there's still, like, hard stuff back there. But in general, like, it's a film about like austerity and how that, like, causes problems with, like the lower class citizens, like how there's no support for them, and stuff that can happen, really. Because I imagine it might not have devolved into, like, shooting someone or something, but suicide, I bet, is a high thing because of stuff like this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, massively, I imagine. But yeah, so I'm just, I mean, because, like, it's been a month and a bit since the film came out now. It's, like, moved away from that now, and I think it is getting talked about now, like the societal aspect of it. And just when it was coming out, that was when the big hyper violence was about. So I think it's going to be remembered for the right things. Like, it's the view on austerity and its effects and such like. So I'm quite happy about that. Any more thoughts on the media or anything like that?
I think we've covered most of that one, really. I mean, only so much you can say about obviously society beating down on everyone.
I mean, politics is 24/7, so there's always more.
True.
There's always more. But it's about like it's gonna make people rise up.
Mm-hmm.
Could still do, but like in the thing of going, well, we're not standing for not getting funding for stuff.
True.
That's right. So
Yeah.
I could imagine not like a random person like seeing the film and going out and like shooting up a place, unfortunate as that is, but I could see like people like going, well, this is modern day in certain places, certain aspects.
Maybe so.
But
that's like the extreme level of reaction to this film. But
yeah, of course. Cause
you can't really blame the film as much for the reactions of people.
Yeah.
Because that's just trying to take the blame away from an individual and their actions and putting it on a film that was never intended. Films are never intended to make
people do something.
People do something. I mean, films and it's like art as well. They are completely based on your opinion, your perception of them. How you take it is it. It doesn't matter. It's art and films are obviously made in how the director wants them and how people making them want it. It's their perception, and then how you take it is completely up to you.
Yeah, I think that's right for like all aspects, isn't it? Like not just like this movie, like all movies, all forms of entertainment or education.
Some people are going to like it, some people aren't.
Yeah,
that's just how it goes. Not everyone likes the same stuff.
Yeah. That's that pretty much.
Yeah.
One thing that's quite funny, because I've been getting into. Do you know what TikTok is?
Yeah, I've kind of seen it, but I've not done anything on it at all.
Yeah, I've just been like messing about with it, experimenting, seeing what it's all about, and such. Like, and yeah, I actually had a massive thing on TikTok with like video creations. Like, it became like a meme on there, like people like dressing up and like going down the stairs. And obviously, like the cosplay community has gone massive with it.
I bet, yeah.
But I think that's like going to be the Halloween thing now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For a while. But there was like videos of people like getting in their own fridges and such like to like the soundtrack and such like. Which don't do that, by the way.
Don't do that.
But just funny, like some of the reactions, like more on the more like light-hearted tone. Like it's quite funny. Some of the reactions people are taking to the film. Sequel.
Ooh.
Thoughts?
I don't know, you know. I don't think so. I think they've done what they needed to do. I don't know where. Maybe if I thought about it more, they could take it somewhere else, but I'm not so sure because I feel like they've done what they can. The only other way that they could carry it on is if he becomes another Joker.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously at the end of the film, you saw Bruce Wayne's parents being shot due to the riot, and it just become another one of them Joker things. I mean, as much as we all like a good Joker film, you don't want to obviously throw too many of them at people because then they'll just start to get bored of them. But I feel like the way that this film ended was really well done and should be enough. Maybe they could go into another aspect of some part of it, but I don't think so. What about you?
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Like, I didn't like the idea of a sequel right from the start. Like, the film was great, and I think the only I don't know behind the scenes obviously, but the only reason a sequel's being brought up because of how massive it's become.
Yeah. And
I think it by itself, it's an amazing masterpiece that anything after it would be leeching on the original film and could take away from what it was. Yeah. So I think it as a standalone is just the best. Oh, yeah. Not to say there's not something. There could be some innovative idea that they come up with and it's amazing. But at the moment, I can't see it.
At the end of the day, a good film doesn't always need a sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at good films, I can't really think of one at the moment, maybe you can, but where you've had really, really, really good films and then to cash in, they've made sequels for no reason.
Avatar.
Yeah, you've got 4 of them.
2, 3, 4, and 5 coming on the way eventually.
I think the first one was the best, and they just leave
Well,
it.
none of them come out.
None of them come out, no. But just leave it at that. I mean, a masterpiece is a masterpiece. You don't have to.
When was 2008 was Avatar?
2009, I think.
Yeah, 2009 sounds, yeah.
So it's been 10 years. And then suddenly now they're cashing in on it. I mean, has just been overtaken though as the most grossing film, hasn't it?
Has it?
I think so.
Oh, no, it has. But who was it?
If it was Joker.
No, it
won't be
no,
Joker.
Joker's a massive.
I think it might have been like Avengers or something.
Yeah, it is. It's Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Endgame, definitely. Yeah, but like Avatar's a weird one. Like, obviously, like, it was brought out and the CGI was incredible for the time, and well, it's still incredible now. Yeah. Like, even 10 years later.
For the time, it's not been that long.
I know, but
10 years.
no, but like technological like advancement that we've got now, like everything's CGI and like the biggest example, of the difference that I can think of is Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Like, the Lord of the Rings is so much better, but The Hobbit, they're like flooded with CGI. And there is a difference because obviously limited technology, so they had to go to practical effects.
Yeah.
But it just looks, and it is such a better film.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Well, I think I have a problem with The Hobbit is that they were trying to make money too much.
Oh,
they made The Hobbit into
three films when it's a friggin' mini book.
It is such a short story. It's a children's book. It's literally about 200 pages long.
Yeah.
It's not, and most of the stuff that obviously happened in the film
like,
did not happen.
Like
in the
Legolas
book.
coming in and
Legolas was never there.
Yeah.
A lot of the orcs and stuff. I mean, you never see that main orc villain.
Yeah, he doesn't have that like backstory with.
He does have a bit of the backstory, but he never appears.
Does he not?
I don't think he appears. No, if I remember reading the book rightly, I don't think they talk about him, but he never appears.
Does he have that backstory with Thorin though? Like when he has that fight and he picks up his branch. That's definitely not it. No, it could be because that's his back. That is his name, isn't it? Thorin Oakenshield.
Yeah, I think that.
So that you could be right. Like where he's
that
he's talked
story
about.
Was fine, yeah, but otherwise he was just talked about. He wasn't ever in there.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff obviously was made up and everything. I think the Battle of the Five Armies didn't happen.
No, they don't.
They definitely didn't happen.
Oh no, it did because what happens in the book, Bilbo gets knocked out, isn't it? Yeah. And it skips everything.
Yeah.
Like the whole battle sequence in the third film, that's like that happens in the book quotation marks, but since it's done from the perspective of Bilbo, he's knocked out, and then the next page is him waking up and finding like spoiler. Well, I'm not going to say it. He finds the aftermath of the battle. Yeah,
I mean that's obviously like what's annoyed me about The Hobbit. I mean, it should have just been one film really. Whereas, like, if you've got Lord of the Rings, it was 3 films, 3 books.
I think they could have done a really good job of 2 films. I think there was enough to do 2 films to tell it with a big entertainment basis, like because obviously they want to make big effects, like the fight scene, even though it's not in the book, they sort of want to put in the film because they're attracting people to like, and they want to put in trailers and such like. So
yeah, definitely.
I could see them doing 2 good films, but it was just like. Now we're going to make 3, you're going to make them all long, and we're going to add in all this stuff that...
All these other characters that never existed.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, you had... have you read Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only got about 300 pages in, and I'm slogging. It's been a while.
It's not an easy read, Lord of the Rings. If anyone's ever tried reading the Lord of the Rings, you know that it's not easy reading material.
At all. He's very descriptive.
Yeah.
He'll start describing a tree, and then 10 pages later he's still talking about the tree.
To put in perspective, like you see the what's the forest, from the start to getting out the forest, it's probably within the first hour or something like that, and I'm pretty sure that's like a third to half the first book.
Yeah, it's a while. It takes some time, but I can't remember where I am. But I'm still on Fellowship of the Ring. I haven't made it past it yet. I've got it at home, but with those massively descriptive books, they've managed to make each book into one film, and they did really well with them. I love Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, it's one of the best.
But again, like, it's the same, like, say, Game of Thrones. I mean, they were... Obviously, there's quite a few books of that still waiting for more. Come on.
Are we? I thought it was finished.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I thought this last one that was got was going to be the last one that I ever got.
Well, if that is the case, I'm going to be very annoyed.
I don't think I'll be alone there.
No, because the one that I saw with obviously George R.R. Martin never wanted to make them into films because he knew his books were too descriptive and had too much going in them. That so much would be left out the story.
Yeah, like the only way they could and did do that was through TV.
Yeah.
When did you say the first book came out?
What, for Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
It was 1996, I think.
Jesus, man.
I think, yeah.
So he's been going at it. He's been going at it a while.
He's been going at it a long, long time. We've still got 2 books to go.
Just 2.
Just 2.
You sure?
Just.
I can imagine him going, yeah, I need a third one. Like.
No, you don't.
But yeah, that's similar into like, but it's like reverse that because like the TV, like they couldn't, like they had to keep going, so they had to change the story and as such, same as any book really, isn't it? There's always going to be aspects of the book that are not included.
Oh yeah, definitely. Quite a few things are.
Just Game of Thrones is probably a big example because there's major things left out and there's major things included.
He did. I mean, George R.R. Martin did tell him...
Jar Jar Martin, who...
he did tell them how he wanted it to end. And they could do whatever they wanted in between. Big mistake, that, really.
Yeah.
Especially after what happened. But
yeah.
Not going to go into that.
Yeah, that's
still annoying.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the ending. It was such a conclusive and well, I'm talking a bit rubbish here.
Just a little.
Yeah. Stay. No. Can't remember. We started this off somewhere and I can't remember where the tangent ended.
Completely off topic here now.
But it's become the back to Joker, by the way. Back to Joker. It's become the highest grossing R-rated film now, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Yeah, it beat Deadpool.
Yeah, I saw Ryan Reynolds posted like this satirical poster of Joker with like the top 10 R-rated films with. It's like FU to Joaquin on the top, like the picture when he's stood in full makeup at the top of the stairs. But yeah, it's this is again back to the trailer thing that when I saw it, I didn't think it was going to be like what it was.
Yeah,
and the same with movie going. I thought it would only be for a select number of people, like just comic book fans and particular comic book fans. So I thought it was going to be like when I saw it, I thought it was going to be a masterpiece that only a few people knew about. That people are going to go, you should see this. It's a really good film, and it's going to be at the bottom of someone's list to go and check out.
Yeah.
But it's become this obviously the highest grossing R-rated film, bigger than this comedy film Deadpool, which was obviously incredibly huge and open to a lot wider audiences. I thought than this film, but it still managed to eat it out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I was surprised about that. But yeah, that's. Any more thoughts on Joker? I think that's.
No, I think we've covered everything pretty well there.
Yeah. 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 If you've not seen it still, I don't know why you've listened to this.
You'll watch it.
Yeah, I was still going to watch it. We're actually rewatching in a couple of weeks, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to see it again.
A couple of mates who've not seen it yet. So they shouldn't listen to this either yet until after that. So yes, that should be good. And I know like it's gone into detail, but it's gonna be nice seeing it again after all this. Is there anything you're watching, playing, keeping up with at the moment?
There's not much I'm watching at the moment. I was watching a few films yesterday, but maybe one of the ones that I watched yesterday was quite good. It's a new release on Netflix. It's called The King.
Oh, I think Matt, I think I may thought sent it to me saying this looks pretty decent. Is it alright?
It's very good.
What's it about?
It's about Henry V taking the throne from his father Henry IV and invading France, and obviously how it's. I mean, that's basically the gist of it, and him having to try and get through palace politics and everything. Watching it, I mean, I don't want to say too much because it's only just come out.
Yeah.
I really like it. It is a really, really good film. The acting is brilliant. Robert Pattinson's in it.
Is he?
As a French guy, and it's really weird, but yeah, he's
he must be so like like I know he's probably made friggin' tons off Twilight, but he must like look back and go,
why did I do that? Yeah. But who else was in it as well? I can't remember the actor's name that played Henry V, because I only watched it yesterday. I haven't looked into it too much, into the background. But the one other person that I did recognise was he was in Game of Thrones as well. I can't remember his name, actor's name. But
what did he play?
He played.
Or who did he play? I should say.
One of.
Unless he played Ghost.
No, he played Tommen.
Oh, no idea what his name is now.
Yeah, Tommen. He played his. He played in this, and it is a really, really good film. The cinematography, the acting's superb. It is a good film, and I do think people should definitely watch it. But TV shows wise, I'm not watching anything at the moment. I'm waiting for another season of The Last Kingdom to come out.
I've heard that, but not.
That's another one on Netflix called The Last Kingdom, which is based on the books.
Henry III taking over Henry IV.
It's based on the book series called The Last Kingdom.
Oh,
would you know it?
Yeah.
Which I'm reading at the moment as well. But so the 4th season should be out, I think, early next year.
The 4th?
4th season, yeah.
Alright, so they're going.
There's already 3 seasons of it. It's really, really good.
Netflix is a binge watching platform, so
yes, it is.
Get after it.
Yeah, but that's all I'm up to at the moment. What about you?
So I've got into like programming a bit recently. So like stuff I've been watching is like AI stuff. So I watched. This is like people are going to be going, how have you not watched this already? But Westworld. Have you seen that?
I haven't. No.
No, it's this. I remember it being like massively popular like a few years ago. I think it's still going, but it's like about I don't know, like cyborgs.
Okay.
Well, no, it's like this guy creates like this park of various like animatronics.
Yeah.
But like trying to create artificial intelligence within them.
Yeah.
And it's been really interesting, and I think everyone else has probably already seen it, but that's really good. And another one that I've been picking in and out of, I don't think I'm going to watch it fully. I've just been like YouTube clip binging, basically, just because it's like it's a TV called Person of Interest. It's about like surveillance, where this guy's created an artificial like surveillance intelligence that like monitors everyone, and it's a bit like Minority Report.
Okay.
I've seen that, where it sends a number, like a social security number. This is America. Social security number to the maker, and says this person is either going to be a victim or he's going to be a perpetrator.
Yeah. So
him and this co-person who's with him set out to try and either save them or stop them from doing an event that the machine's predicted that it will do. So it's a lot like Minority Report, but it's like it's like a American TV show where it's like 5 seasons, each have got 16 episodes, and it's like I've not got time to do another one of those. Like, so I've just been YouTube.
A massive binge.
Yeah, I'm never gonna like just the time commitment for that. So I've been enjoying jumping in and out of that and found it really good. But so I do recommend those two, and a big one that I'm looking forward to is The Witcher, which we both are definitely looking forward to.
Waiting for that. I mean, obviously, most of us have played the Witcher games to some degree.
Yeah. You're forging through 3.
Forging through Witcher 3. I've come quite late to it.
Well, I only finished it this year, so
come quite very, very late to it, and people are going to probably kick off about that. What? No. How have you not played it yet? I haven't. I know. I'm sorry, but
I don't think a lot of people have finished it. It's a massive time commitment. Like it's about 50 hours to finish the thing.
Yeah, and
not to scare you or anything.
No, but another thing, I want to read the books as well, so I can.
I want to. Yeah.
But I looked today and I saw that with this Netflix The Witcher, it's not going to be just like obviously just a fantasy like that light-hearted one. They're going to put horror into it.
That's good. There's a lot
So
of...
that'd be good. But I think, again, don't quote me on it, but I'm sure someone said like they want to try and do like 8 seasons of it. I mean, 8 seasons.
5 seasons.
Is it just 5?
I've read 5 seasons.
Right.
Oh no, you might be right. I think I read something like that. It's 5 and 8, so it looks similar. So I might have misread it, and it might be 8. But the showrunner's saying I've set out 8 seasons of it. So sounds good. It looks like it's going to be good.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to put my hopes up too much, just because I don't know.
No, it's been hyped up, yeah.
Yeah.
It's The Witcher. It's good.
And I think the Cavill is the role, like he is.
Oh yeah,
he's putting the word to look like him, and
definitely looks like Geralt.
Yeah,
easily. But it should really be good, and only have to wait a month for it now.
December it's coming out.
Yeah, December.
I thought it's coming out. It's January. I don't know why.
No, I think it's something like the 15th, 16th of December. So
Solid.
It's quite close.
One thing I am is the CGI, like the creatures, how they're going to do those. Like obviously it's going to be CGI, and I know they've got like capabilities like Stranger Things. Like, they looked pretty good in it. Like such variety of creatures they have in the games and the books, I imagine as well, because it's the same universe. So it'll be interesting to see how often they put them in, because obviously it's a big financial cost to create and have them on screen.
But really, they're going to have to do it a lot, because he is a Witcher, a monster hunter.
Yeah.
They're going to have them in there quite a bit.
You think so, but then it could be a lot of like relationship stuff and all that they could fill her out with, which is a big part of the game. In fairness,
yes,
big part of the stuff. In fairness, but yeah, that's a big one that I'm looking forward to. I don't think there's anything else that I'm watching at the moment. Nah, that's pretty much me. Anything else?
No.
Well, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for listening. Let us know, whichever platform we end up putting this, what your thoughts on Joker was, and catch us next time. Thanks for listening. See ya. Deletes footage.